It's a UK-based company. We are a product company that is focused on solving challenge statements of the industry or of a business using artificial intelligence and data science. So we have domain experts within us who have 20 to 30 years of experience in any of the particular industry or any particular verticals. They know about the business process. They know mostly the challenges that they have faced due to their practical interactions, right? And then they work with our product development teams to come out with a tech platform that can enable or that can solve these challenge statements, right? We also do tech transfer from the universities, which means if there are any IPs that are lying at the university level, then we take those and we convert those into products if that is needed, and we deploy them in the industry. If you have any Q&As, we are ready to take. Yeah.
I wanted to ask that you guys basically solve challenges. So are your challenges like domain specific? Does it have any domain? Because what are the kind of challenges? Like, can you give us an example of?
We as I said earlier, that we are mostly looking at challenge statements of the industry. So it's not very domain specific. I mean, when you say domain specific, it's not related to any vertical. So it could be as simple as going to a railway authority and talking to them about digital twins, understanding their challenges, in terms of maybe they are understanding the rail tracks, how is the wear and tear happening, or even as simple as something that is on the paint side of it, on the rolling stock. So then we look at domain experts, and now these domain experts can be from the universities also. You can be a domain expert tomorrow, because our domain expert on railways is from University of Birmingham. Yeah, our logistics domain expert is from University of Hull. For a digital, for an airport, it is Cranfield Universities. So it can be a mix of both from the universities as well as from people who are there, been in the industry. For example, we have an insurance expert who's been 20-30 years in fraud detection. So it's basically understanding the challenge statements of any industry and then looking at what are the available domain experts, or somebody who's done some 20-30 years of experience. And for people, like for example in digital twins, we work with professors who have done material sciences specific to metallurgy or any physics simulation. Yeah. Thank you. That answers your question.
So let me start with what actually I work on. So I work on cyber physical system, as I told you. So what I basically find is, like, if any sensor is available, the sensor may be in some car, or it can be a biomedical sensor or any type of sensor. So what I find is, like, in the software domain, if you find, in software domain, they have already solved a lot of problems. But what about hardware? Like, if I want to attack, electromagnetic attack, if I want to give to the sensor, the reading of the sensor will definitely change. So these type of securities, they are not adding in the sensors right now. And because of that, even we can stop the pacemaker of a person.
That's right.
Can you imagine? Yes. So like those type of work I am doing. So how I can be a fit to your company in that case? Yeah.
A lot of sensors being available today because of the way that data analytics or data science has grown over the few years, and the data that is available through sensors and the data explosion of the sensor data. I think this is a key point that you're talking about, because if you manipulate the sensors, you could get wrong data. Input garbage, output garbage. So everything is garbage. So yeah, we can, we are working on a few IoT projects. So yeah, we can look at that. Pacemaker was something that I read. I think I did see a movie on that where somebody his pacemaker was being manipulated, and so interesting domain. I think you're doing good work, and we can look at working with you. I think I'll take your name and numbers of everybody and then put some comments on that, and then we can look at it.
Hi, I'm Surbhi, and I'm currently working on understanding human behavior. most importantly human-centered traits. Either it can be a personality or the behavioral traits, how we are behaving when we are having a group conversation, like I am moving my hands and I am nodding or something. So it is completely basically related with human behavior analysis in different contexts. So are you also like working in these areas? As you already told that you are providing some computer vision kind of solutions, so what are the problem statements are there like related with CV?
Yes, so policing and looking after children in a child protection setting is all about human behaviour. That's what it is. And so what we try to do with our science is where are the digital crumbs that are left behind as an indicator of that human behaviour? Do you see what I mean? So we're working on a product. Maykhel is doing some coding on some documentation that we've got in relation to children in the UK who have died at the hands of their parents or at the hands of other people in the community. Now, the child dies today, sort of thing. Going back to the beginning of that child's life and possibly to the child's conception and to the mother and father's lives, there is a series of actions, there's a series of behaviours, all of which sits in public records. The father has been arrested, the mother has had a drug problem, granny had a mental health problem. Do you see what I mean? So they're all in the public records, but there are so many records. There are police records, council records, health records, education records, and so on. But they all lead up to this point where the child has died. So our piece of work we're doing now is saying, if we can find the appropriate sort of algorithmic work, can we, rather than wait until the child dies, intervene here, because everything that's happened tells us that something is going to happen, because people behave in predictable ways. You behave tomorrow like you behave today. You probably behave a little bit today like your mother behaved 30 years ago. And we behave in predictable ways. And as a group, you behave in a predictable way. And what our algorithm and our AI is trying to do in relation to child protection is find that predictability so we can intervene so that this child doesn't die or get harmed. Does that answer some of your question?
Yeah, but what kind of products like you are developing related with these problem statements?
So the product we will end up with there is that we will go to a local area in England and say, if you take our software product and apply it to your live streams of data, we will be able to tell you the children that sit in your system that you don't know about that are going to come to harm, and therefore you need to do something with that child and with that family. And when a child dies or comes to harm, that's very emotionally expensive for everybody, and it's very expensive financially as well. And so if you can intervene earlier, obviously so that is the product we're developing.